When mainstream media starts talking about an asset, that's a sign they are getting the subconscious mind of the masses ready for transformation.
The hottest crypto trade of the year is not Bitcoin, it is not Ether, it is XRP, the coin formerly known as Ripple, soaring more than 20% this year, becoming the third largest cryptocurrency out there, and there's big money behind this trade. Mackenzie Sagalos joins us now with that XRP trade and what, Mac, is driving all of this interest in XRP.
Well, what's actually been interesting is that during the doldrums of Q4, you actually saw a lot of people piling into those XRP ETFs, which is the exact opposite of what happens with the spot Bitcoin and Ether ETFs, where people really move in tandem with the price of the coin. But it was the fact that it is a way to have a higher percentage jump. So people were buying the dip with XRP in Q4, thinking this is a less crowded trade than Bitcoin or Ether. And then that proved out to be true just in the first 6 trading days of January.
We've also talked a lot about the blockchains and the ecosystems that are being built around many of these systems. We know kind of what they are with regard to Bitcoin. We certainly these days know what it is around Ethereum and Ether. What exactly is the big use case or driver? What's the practicality for XRP?
Well, with XRP and Solana, those are the 2 very popular altcoins right now where you're seeing a lot more interest. And with Solana, a lot of these different forms of tokenization. So we talk about tokenized dollars all the time in the context of stable coins. But now we're seeing a lot of people move into tokenizing money market funds. And Solana has become a blockchain use case for that. And XRP made its name in terms of cross-border payments.
Well, they are obviously missing out some of the best features on the XRP ledger. You can also tokenize anything of value on XRP. XRP is not only about cross-border payments. The XRPL also has one of the most interesting features in the entire crypto space. It has the first ever DEX built in on the XRP ledger by default that's operating since 2011. So it is to some degree unique that mainstream media is finally catching up with XRP, yet we XRP holders have been proven over and over the most resilient holders in the entire crypto space. If you hold XRP, you know exactly what I am talking about. And this is really an indicator that XRP's adoption is around the corner. Every time there was a dip for XRP this cycle, it was absolutely short-lived. This indicates there is a high demand for XRP at an institutional level. ETFs also open the liquidity gates for more institutional capital to flow towards XRP. BTC is low and outdated. Solana halts down on a monthly basis. Ethereum has extremely high transaction fees, with the gas fees being effectively a tax on the network. So whenever you use Ethereum, you are being taxed. XRP solves one by one every single one of the problems that I just described. So if you hold XRP, you hold a piece of infrastructure that is set to run the financial system. And here is the big idea. I don't even intend to sell my XRP. I actually want to hold XRP for the long term. I want to actually lend my XRP to financial institutions. I want to make passive income out of XRP. And here is something that a lot of people are getting wrong. You do not have any native staking for XRP, so forget about the idea of generating passive income nowadays. Just focus on the long-term accumulation. And I see this mistake from a lot of XRP holders. They are trying to rush things out. People are losing patience. People are trying to find ways to make extra income with XRP, and this ends up putting their tokens at risk. People are giving custody of their XRP to generate yields, sometimes for 30 or 40% promises out there on the internet. If anyone tells you you can generate yields out of your XRP nowadays, I'm talking about staking platforms, you are giving self-custody away. And that's a very dangerous trade. So I don't recommend anyone to rush to make passive income out of your XRP. Of course, you can experience some returns with automated market makers. Of course, some people leverage automated market makers and liquidity pools, and that's a way to generate some yield out of your XRP. But forget about staking. I don't even generate utilizing the automated market makers. There is also risks by utilizing such platforms. In this case, you fall at risk at impairment loss, so that's something you also want to consider. That's why my long-term strategy, just hold XRP in the cold wallets. And once regulation is in place, once the Clarity Act is fully enabled, In this time, I truly believe it's going to be the big opportunity of our lifetimes by generating passive income out of our XRP, by lending it through lending platforms and smart contracts where you're going to generate yield by giving out your XRP for cross-border payments to financial institutions like Santander, Bank of America, and many other financial institutions and central banks across the globe. The system is getting ready for a liquidity crisis, and both XRP and XLM stands as lifeboats in such an environment. The most antique Ripple white papers made it very clear XRP is set to become a global reserve currency, and that's not even my opinion. That's stated by Ripple multiple times by the CEO. So yes, it feels good to see mainstream media finally catching up with XRP. There is no competition for XRP. You don't have any other robust blockchain that operates at scale, that can deliver fast finality in just less than 3 seconds. You simply don't have any other network with the same capabilities of the XRP ledger. And we XRP holders have been trying to open the minds of everyone since XRP was below 50 cents. It is very sad that 99% of people are going to miss this opportunity. And it's very unfortunate that a lot of them are only going to pay attention to XRP once they hear about it on the headlines. They will only realize when XRP starts showing up on their Instagram feed, or perhaps they will only realize once their favorite celebrity starts mentioning XRP. But you can guess what? By the time that happens, by the time XRP gets on the spotlights, that will be already too late. And this is exactly why I position myself as an early investor rather than a late adopter of a technology that is set to run the entire financial system. If you hold XRP, you own the rails, and all you need is conviction. How many XRP holders were left behind because they lost conviction and they sold at 70 cents or at 90 cents or at $1.20? Those people were forced to buy back, and of course their bag keeps decreasing and decreasing. That's why the more time passes, less XRP is going to be available for retail investors, and more XRP is set to fall towards institutional custody. XRP now sits in the same category of gold and US treasuries, being effectively treated as a commodity. That means financial institutions have green light to finally start accumulating XRP and add XRP to their balance sheets. Yes, many of those institutions were doing that behind the scenes when the SEC lawsuit came out of shadows. Of course, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of NDAs in place, and most importantly, the XRP escrow also has a role. So remember, this is a long-term play. Don't let them fool you. Don't allow the haters to shake you out. This is a conviction play, and I want to see every single one of you succeed. Now, if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. Are you bullish on XRP for 2026? And if you want to trade crypto without KYC, get access to derivatives markets, buy XRP spots, send to a cold wallets. You can withdraw up to $500,000 per day without KYC. I'm going to drop a link in the description of this video. It's Bitunix, the exchange partner of this channel. And there is an exclusive campaign only for my subscribers with Bitunix. And you're going to find more details in the description of this video. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to see you in the next one.